Hey everyone, and welcome again to this Bandit series. So today I'm gonna do this level and maybe other levels if possible. So the pass for the level, we stop it at level 12 and we're gonna go to level 13 now. The password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt, which is hexadecimal of a file that has been repeatedly compressed. For this level, it may be useful to create a directory under TMP in which you can work using mkdir. For example, mkdir tmp myname123. Then copy the data file using cp and rename it using mv. So what is it telling us is that a file is an hexadecimal representation of another file that has been repeatedly compressed, and to decompress it, to reverse all those operations, we have to create a directory under TMP to work with this file. So we're going to use a lot of those comments. Let's start. First of all, I'm going to connect to SSH12. This is as always, this is the server name, the username of the user, and the port in which SSH is running. So I'm going to go to my leaf pad here and copy the password. And we're in. So ls-l, it will show us this file here, data.txt. If we can do cat data.txt, we can read it, and it has an hexadecimal representation. And this output here is the output of the comment xxd. Okay, so if you have a text, normal text, hello world, and you pipe it to xxd, it will show you this hexadecimal representation. Okay, so if you want to reverse this operation, you're gonna do xxd-r, and it will show you the plain text again. Okay, so if we take this file here, data.txt, and we pipe it to xxd-r, it will show us the decompressed data, or the data in ASCII. So what we're gonna do now is to store it directly in a file. I'm gonna name it, for example, let's see, data.bin. But first, I'm gonna create a directory, because if you want to create any file here, it will show you permission denied. That's why we're gonna create a directory under temp. So mkdir/temp, and in /temp, I'm gonna create a folder called, like, let's see, directory, or just like Bandit. So let's go there. Let's first copy this data.txt to that Bandit, go to /bandit, and here we are. So we're gonna execute the same command on this file here, xxd-r, and redirect the output to data.bin. Okay, so we have two files now. We're gonna do the comment file to know the type of the data inside this file, this data.bin, and that's how we can know what type of file is this. So data.bin, it will show us that data.bin is a gzip compressed data. So this type of compressed data normally has the extension gz. So we can rename this from data.bin to data.gz, and then we can decompress it from this. We can decompress it with this tool here, gzip and -d for decompression. So data.js, it doesn't show anything. It just create just extract the file and name it with this with this name without the extension. So let's view the files here, and you can see this. I already deleted the compressed file and replaced it with this decompressed file. So as always, we're going to do file data to know the file type again, and here now it gives us bzip2, and this is another type of compression. So I'm going to do move from data to data.bz2. Okay, so this is the extension of this type of files. So we're gonna press enter, and this is the new file here. So I'm gonna decompress it with bzip, I guess bzip2, okay, -d for decompression. It has the same syntax as the tool before, data.bz2, and ls-ln gives us a new file here. So as always, again, it just repeatedly compresses it in multiple formats. We're just gonna decompress it again and again until we get to the last value, the ultimate one. So gzip again -d data, or let's move from data to data.gs, and then gzip-d data.gs, again ls file data. Now it's a tar format, and this type of compression typically has the extension .tar. Okay, so we changed it, and now to extract it, we're gonna use the tool tar, and X for extract, V for verbose, and F for the file name. So this F here tells the comment that what's next is the file name, data.tar, and it tells us that the compressed file is the compressed file's name is this. So we're gonna copy it, and file, no, it's type again, another tar. So we're gonna change it from data5 to data5.tar, and again the compression. Now this is another this is kinda frustrating, okay, but you just gotta have some patience. bzip2-d data6.bin, can't guess original name for data6.bin using data, so it just normally it should have the right extension. It didn't find the right extension, so replace the name with this. So this is the new name of the decompressed file. I'm just gonna do file, gives me another tar, so move it from here to data6.tar, and tar extract it. Data8. First, I'm gonna move it from here to bz2, and no, should be gz, and we have data8, the new file, and finally we have this ASCII. Now it's an ASCII type file, which means it has some let's say human readable text. We can just cat it, and we can view that the password is this. So I'm just gonna put it here, Bandit 13. This is the password. Let's check if we can log in with it. There we go. Now let's move to the next level here. Let's read its description first. From 13 to 14. The password for the next level is stored in this path here, and can only be read by the Bandit 14. So we have to be this user to read the password file. For this level, you don't get the next password, but you get a private SSH key. So SSH key is just a way to authenticate ourselves to SSH. Usually we just authenticate with a password, as you have seen many times with this comment here, but you can also create a private key which you use to authenticate yourself without the need of a password. So, but you get a private SSH key that can be used to log into the next level. Note, localhost is the host name that refers to the machine you're working on. Okay. So first I'm gonna do ls-la-l to view the files inside this directory, and I can find that ssh key.private. If I do sh key here, it gives me that pmrsa private key. it tells me that this is a private key. So the type of content inside this file is a private key. So I'm gonna do cat, and this is the exact form of an SSH private key. I can just copy it and exit from here, from the SSH connection. Now this is just let me tell you, this is the private key of the Bandit 14. So this is what we can use to authenticate ourselves as Bandit 14. I'm gonna do subl bandit 14.key, and I already have this here because I did the level before. So let's just leave it like that. And I'm gonna do chmod 600 bandit 14. What I'm doing now is giving this key a specific permission so that no other users can get to this file. Chmod, we're gonna talk to it later. If I just do let's give it dangerous permissions. Those permissions here is 3 sevens, means that anyone can write to this file or read to this file or you know, move it or anything else. They have all the access to this file. So if I try to authenticate myself using this private key, it tells me that those permissions for Bandit 14 for your private key are too open, so it can't use this private key to authenticate, and it tells me to enter a password. Now to use that private key, I have to give it the right permissions. Now let's authenticate ourselves, and I didn't explain, as you can see, I authenticated myself. Now I didn't explain this syntax here. Normally you just write SSH and the username, the server, and the port. But this time I made -i and the name of the file that contains the private key. And this is how you can you can force the SSH server to use your private key instead of a password. So I'm authenticated now. Now let's go back to the challenge, and we can see that the password for the next level is stored in this path. So I'm going to copy it, ls-a. What's the content inside this file? We can find that there's a single file here called bandit 14, and I'm going to view its content. Hold on. So the password is stored in this file. This is a file, not a directory. So they gave us a file that contains the password. Let's just cat it, and we can find the password for bandit 14. So I'm just gonna put it here. We can just exit and now authenticate ourselves with a password instead of just a private key. There we go. So let's move to the next level here, 14 to 15. It says that the password for the next level can be retrieved by submitting the password of the current level to port 30,000 on localhost. So what does that mean is you have to send the password of the current level to this port here on localhost. You can't send it remotely because this port is not open from the outside. It's just open from the outside, from the inside. So what I'm gonna do now is just use netcat. Let me see if netcat is installed. It's installed. Netcat here is just a tool for networking. It is used for connecting to ports. Okay, so if I do something like, let's say ns and the IP or the name of the server, I'm gonna write localhost. So to connect to localhost, on what port? On port 30,000. So I don't know what just happened, so what I should do now is to provide the -v for verbosity, and it tells me that localhost, and this is the IP representation of localhost, 30,000 is open. So this port here is open on localhost. Now I have to give it some value. Let me just copy the password of the current level and put it here. As soon as I enter, it will be sent to that port. You can see that it's correct. It tells me in the response it's correct, and it gives me the password for the next level. Let me put it here. There we go. Let me try to connect again. Awesome. Now I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and a subscribe or any comments you like, and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.